Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. My name is Andrew from 510 Books. I'm here in the warehouse. It is Thursday, July 8th, 2021. I'm about to head out. I have two things that I have to ship that sold on eBay. Yesterday, I sold the complete series of a TV show. I think it's called, was it Highlanders? I believe it's Highlanders, $45. And then today I sold. Remember, I sold a CD lot, but you remember that I was going through all those CDs in the corner here and pulling out a bunch that were not a complete series, but that I had been collecting, and decided to start selling some of those off. Well, it came from that. It was those Now music CDs. Here, I'll show you. So there's 19 of them. It's these. Now that's what I call music. So I had 19 of them. Clearly not complete. I think they're over to they go up to over 100 now in our unique CDs in that series. And so I had 19 of them, sold it for $35 plus shipping. Sales have been slow, but I'm getting a few here and there. I think what I'm realizing is that July is definitely probably the slowest, because people are really deep into their summer vacation and hanging out and in the summer mood, and they're not buying as much online. So fingers crossed that I have a good local sale starting tomorrow and then into Saturday and Sunday because of that. So hopefully I finished setting up everything for the most part yesterday, but did a couple more things today and just to prepare. So I put out a few more things here. I had Life magazines that I had picked up for free from someone that was clearing out a storage unit. And so these are old Life magazines from the 30s all the way up to the 80s, actually. I have those, and then those down here, the 80s. So I just filled up this table, basically, and I'm all ready for the sale. I also swept and dusted and all that. I don't want to have to do that tomorrow morning, because I believe what's going to happen tomorrow morning is I'm going to have a bunch of people show up early. The reason being, if you are an Amazon reseller, especially a book reseller, which you probably are, which is probably why you're watching my videos, like myself, how I started 7 years ago reselling just books through FBA, you probably utilize that website, what is it, booksales.com, booksales.net, I can't remember what exactly the domain, but book sales website, where they post all the library sales and any sales going on at all that have to do with books. And so I posted on there, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a bunch of resellers that are going to show up early on the first day, and they may or may not buy any books. But anyway, point is, I didn't want to have to get here super early tomorrow, at 6 a.m. or anything like that, at a reasonable hour, probably about 7, so I can set up my signs on the street corner and out in front here of the building, and just prepare everything. I'm going to put out a few tables, put a few books on those in the front as well. That's about it. But I didn't want to have to sit here and sweep and dust while there's a bunch of people waiting outside, which might happen. It has happened in the past, and so it might. You never know. It's been ups and downs with the book resellers, because of course I'm a reseller, so I don't really put too much out that is going to make sense to resell. And if it does, I'm pricing it higher for the people that are actually buying it to read it versus reselling it. But anyway, so we'll see what happens. But I'm just hoping, fingers crossed, that I do actually get some people from that ad who are not resellers. They're actually just looking to buy books for themselves or others to actually read. But you never know. So that's what I'm predicting anyway, that there'll be some people early in the morning. And I stopped actually posting on there or advertising before the pandemic, because all I was getting was resellers, and they weren't buying anything. A couple things here and there, and so I was wasting my time, wasting their time. But I don't know. It actually might have been last summer that I posted on there as well. I can't remember, but that was still in the middle of the pandemic. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, because I know that a lot of non-resellers also watch or also utilize that source website to find out sales, to actually buy books for themselves. So we'll see. Another thing happened yesterday. For the first time, I was contacted by a college student who was looking to sell his textbooks. And I said, sure, come by. He came by today. And I bought a dozen books off of him. 11 of them will be for Amazon. One I'm going to keep for sale here locally. And I paid him for them. They varied. There were some pretty valuable ones in there. Not talking, 100 going for over $100. All of them were going for less than 100, but there were a couple that were in the like $50 to $80 range. But overall, it was good. I was paid him $70 for the 12 books. Sometimes, it's worth it to pay up because the items are going to go for more money. So those will be majority will go to Amazon. And I was talking to him about how students are reselling their books, and apparently it's a combination. Some people keep them, don't resell them. Some sell them amongst themselves and other students, which makes sense because if you do a class and then a year later someone else wants to do the class, you can just say, hey, buy the book off me for $20 instead of spending $80 at the bookstore or whatever. But anyway, had me thinking about, this guy randomly found me because of Google Maps, or just Google, right, showing me on the maps locally as a bookstore. But it had me thinking, how I could target students at the end of their semester or quarter and advertise so that they could actually see it. But it's hard, right? Because what are they? They're not on Facebook for the most part. College students are not on Facebook. They might be using Instagram, of course, TikTok, Snapchat, that type of stuff. But is it even going to be effective if I run an ad on Instagram? Will they show up? I don't know what the best way is. But anyway, it got me thinking about it, the possibilities. Because I am here and people do find me, but not, I'm sure there's a lot of students that aren't going to search, who buys textbooks or whatever on Google. So hold on one sec. So it's good to, get into a niche, or to figure out in this example of how to advertise to that, because Facebook works well for me for my local sale, but that is a specific, type of demographic, usually over 30, over 40, and not going to get college age kids, that kind of thing, for the most part. Rarely do I. So anyway, it got me thinking about it, but you never know. It could be worth it to pursue that avenue for sure, because he had valuable books. Even spending $100 just to test it out for a week leading up to the end of graduation. I don't even know exactly the right time. I mean, if they're graduating in mid-May, do you advertise, a couple weeks before, a couple weeks after? You don't know until you try. But definitely at the end, May, June, end of the year, or end of the semester in December is, of course, probably the best time, as we know. So that happened. That was good. It should be pretty profitable. Spend $70. We'll see. I'll let you know exactly what it's going to be. But I should definitely more than double my money. I don't know if I'll triple it, but we'll see. But these are books that, are even during the summer are actually selling. But of course, if for whatever reason they don't sell immediately, by August they should all be selling for sure. And a lot of those prices will probably go up. So I'll take that into consideration. The other thing that I did, which I was super excited with, is I photographed the loose CDs and loose DVDs, and then I dug into all of these some of the individual items I have here under the table, and I photographed about 35 or so of them, books and CDs. And so that was exciting because it did not take that long to photograph all of them. Of course, it takes longer to list, but I prefer to list on my computer at home, much quicker on the computer than I am on my phone, no matter what anyone else says. I don't understand how they're able to do it in a couple minutes, but to each their own. and I can use templates and upload all the photos at once and then just dump them in there as I go through each item and just change little things here and there. And it can go pretty quick to, I don't know, it won't take too long to do all those 35 items. But it's exciting because I've got a lot, hundreds of items under the table here in boxes that have just been sitting there for way too long. Some of them have been sitting there for months, for sure 3-4 months, some of those. And they're not making me any money. They're just taking up space. I know once I list all of those, I will get a lot more sales coming in from those. And that also seems to trigger other sales. And I do have even more items to list elsewhere. But wanted to check in. I'm always a little nervous before my warehouse sales because I just don't know what's going to happen. And it is summer. So I don't know. Hopefully I'll get some new people, some return customers for sure. I always do. And you know, as we come out of the pandemic and things have opened up and I don't have to wear a mask here, people don't have to wear a mask. Hopefully more people are going to be going out and I'll get more people to show up, but we'll see. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.